I got a new letter from an informant. Looks like the Take it easy. Quietly now.
Take flight! Yeah! I'll protect us.
Gotcha.
Yeah! Kamisato art! Sumetsu!
Busted. Navigating the world is a whole lot easier with a few different identities to choose from. Need me to come up with some for you? Good roll. All right, maybe I'll take one more day off and knock out the rest of the work once I'm feeling up to it. Navigating the world is a whole lot easier with a few different identities to choose from. Need me to come up with some for you? Things are about to get dicey. Take it easy. Quietly now.
Whirling snow!
Gotcha! Here comes the catch!
My apologies!
Quietly now.
Sakura swirl! Take flight! Higher, higher, hands on fire!
Gotcha. Take it easy. Quietly now.
Add Ash. Thank you for
Take it easy.
Since we first set foot on Inazuma. So many things have happened since then. Yeah, we've definitely made some progress on our journey. So, where should we go today? Huh? What's up? Hey! What the heck was that for? Doesn't want to talk, huh? Alright, let's convince him to calm down a little.
Busted.
Huh? So you don't have a vision after all? Seems like I've mistaken you for someone else.
At the very least, you should make sure you've got the right person before you go attacking them. No, wait! Even when you've got the right person, you shouldn't go attacking them out of the blue. It's dangerous.
Have you ever met someone by the name of Legendaria de Kazuha? He carries a sword just like you. I've also heard that he possesses an animo vision. That's none of your business. Never mind. You don't look like you know anything anyway. I'm wasting my time.
What the heck is this guy's problem? Coming around here, waving that weird sword in our faces, and he didn't even apologize. Seems like well, one thing's for sure. No way are we telling, right? Paimon has a feeling, though, that even if this guy gets to challenge Kazuha to a duel, he won't be able to beat him. Anyway, just to be on the safe side, we should go fight Kazuha right away and tell him to watch his back. Oh? What kind of hunch? A special connection? You mean beyond our... Yeah, maybe a little. But then again, anyway, there's no time to lose. Let's go tell Kazuha so we won't get into any danger. Paimon heard that the Crux fleet is stocking up in Rito at the moment. Let's look for him there. Kazuha is.
You're looking for Kazuha too, huh? Guess he must have done something impressive after all. Well, we took the small vessels into Rito on a routine supply run, only this time, as soon as we entered the harbor, we ran into a huge crowd of Inazumans, all of them wanting to know about Kazuha. If it's because of that battle on Nizuchi Beach, Captain Beto had a great run there too, but I don't see her getting this kind of attention. Kazuha keeps to himself most of the time. In fact, there are times when he doesn't even listen to the captain, but she just laughs it off.
Oh, so you still don't know what he did?
I've heard bits and pieces. Something about him blocking... Is it really as big a deal? Really? He was called... I thought they'd come to a...
Just a little while ago, this would have been completely unnecessary. Thank you! Guess we'll go pay a visit to the town.
All right, then. I'll just stay here and carry on trying to fend off the crowd.
Should I choose? Welcome. How can I help you?
Take it easy. I got a new letter from an informant. Looks like the situation has changed again. Gotcha! Here comes the catch!
My day.
Busted! Kamisato out! Sumetsu! Gotcha! Quietly now. Good roll. All right, maybe I'll take one more day off and knock out the rest of the work once I'm feeling up to it. Take it easy. Things are about to get dicey.
Time to fulfill my duty. No slacking off. Freshness preserved.
Gotcha.
Chill to the bone.
Game's over. The inside shouted. Busted.
Embrace the ice! Whirling snow!
Quietly now. But the truth is still unknown.
That's fun.
Yeah! Sakura swirl! Out of my sight. Take flight! Yeah!
I'm feeling a little washed out.
Whirling snow! Yeah! So rude! Mirror images. I have dishonored.
Take it easy.
Come with me. Let us find shelter from the rain. Take flight!
Is it over?
Here!
Cut down.
Game's up. Time's over.
This battle.
There's a pleasant breeze and glorious sunshine. So, where shall we go for a walk?
Let me try my blade.
Gotcha.
Is it over?
Embrace the ice!
Cut down. This.
A blade embraces its duty.
Navigating the world is a whole lot easier with a few different identities to choose from. Need me to come up with some for you?
I still need to see more data from the Mikage furnace. I still need to see more data from the Mikage furnace.
Take it easy. Take it easy.
Oh? It's you.
Greetings. We were just discussing the repealing of the Vision Hunt decree. Since you're here, you're very welcome to listen in on the conversation. We invited Mr. Kaidahara here to extend a gesture of goodwill on behalf of the Shogunate. Your hard work has secured for us the agreeable state of affairs that we now enjoy. Also, I've been granted the chance to correct my clan's past mistakes, and for that, I'm deeply grateful. The Almighty Shogun has issued a large array of directives aimed at resolving, or at least easing, the tensions that have built up over the years. The Tri-Commission has made the recommendation to use this opportunity to restore the honor of the Kaidahara name. Regarding the history of the Kaidahara clan, I trust that you're already somewhat informed? In short, there was once a group of select bladesmiths who served the shogun directly, responsible for upholding and further developing the traditional blade forging arts of the almighty shogun. The Kaedahara clan belonged to this class. But there came a time when some of these bladesmiths revolted and fled to Snezhnaya. Both the Kaedahara and Kamisato clans were held accountable for lax oversight and entered a period of great turmoil. We later learned that the whole misadventure had been secretly orchestrated by the Fatui. Attributing all of the blame to the Kamisato and Kaedahara clans was neither proper nor just. Considering Mr. Kaedahara has once more made an outstanding contribution to Inazuma, the almighty shogun believes he should not only be rewarded for his achievements, but also receive recompense for the excessive punishment borne by his clan in the past. In the interest of preventing further harassment of the bladesmith clans by the Fatui, we chose not to publicly release the findings of our investigations into these matters. We trust you can understand why this was necessary.
This is a true honor. I am delighted to be in a position to receive the goodwill of the almighty shogun and the shogunate at large. However, would I be correct to assume that this magnanimous gesture does not come without some strings attached?
I can assure you that nothing could be further from the truth. We seek only to correct a past injustice. With the Kaedahara clan's reputation and occupation restored, the Kaedaharas will be bladesmiths once more, and your wanderings will finally come to an end. You will be able to lead a safe and prosperous life in Inazuma City with the almighty shogun's blessing and full support of the shogunate.
I have grown accustomed to life among the elements. I fear I would no longer feel at home behind the tall walls of a stately abode. Yet my ancestors did indeed take great pride in the name of Kaedahara, and the art of blade making for which it stood. I do have a responsibility to restore their honor.
I sense some hesitation in your words. Should you accept this offer, I imagine many of the malicious rumors currently circulating through the populace will disappear.
Malicious rumors? All we heard on the way here was so much praise that we almost wondered whether there was another Kaedahara Kazuha in town.
Well, to some, the Muso no Hitotachi is something that can never be defeated. They cannot accept the idea that Mr. Kaedahara really parried the shogun's strike. Also, eyewitnesses saw him using the power of Electro in addition to that of Animo.
What? But that doesn't make sense. Using a delusion turns you old and frail, and Kazuha still looks fine.
That is correct. However, to some people, the idea of a single person wielding two elements at once is a more inconceivable notion still.
This is just one of many similar rumors. I am very uncomfortable with being the subject of public discussion, no matter whether it brings suspicion or stardom my way. But perhaps if the shogunate is willing to publicly support me, this situation will blow over more quickly.
This is precisely why I encourage you to give our offer some serious thought. It stands to benefit all of us.
Please allow me some time to consider. In fact, let us put this discussion on hold for the moment. Well then, what brings the two of you here?
Yikes! We nearly forgot about the most important thing!
Why would such a dangerous individual be looking for me? No. This puzzles me as much as it does you. My fighting forms were taught to me by my family, based on techniques originally developed for blade testing. We undergo rigorous training to standardize every motion the blade is put through, so that each can be fairly assessed for quality. Over time, these techniques came to form something of a Kaedahara sword art, focused on blade testing, but with a full repertoire of combat forms. Those forms are quite different from the more practical ones typically used by samurai in battle. So it's hard to imagine that the similarity you speak of was coincidence alone.
All the more reason to watch your back! This guy was a serious nutcase.
Indeed. He sounds highly aggressive. Anyone he targets is at risk of serious injury, or worse.
In that case, I will send some men out immediately to search for him.
Thank you. I must say I am now very curious about this matter, and I will also need some time to consider your offer. I will first join the Traveler in investigating the one who attacked him, then give you a conclusive answer upon my return.
Very well. Please stay safe.
Come on. Let's go and track down your aggressor.
The detective agency knows the most about what goes on in town. Let's see what Ryuji has to say.
Take it easy. A quick question. Do you know if anyone around here has been looking for him? For Kaidahara Kazuha, we mean.
Aha! So this is the renowned Mr. Kaidehara. I've heard a lot about you. It is an honor to finally meet you today.
You are too kind. We are currently investigating an assault and would appreciate any help you can offer.
Oh? You were targeted in an assault? Let me think. I can't seem to Mr. Kaidehara is currently the talk of the town, so there are always a lot of people looking for him. To be honest with you, our detective agency has recently been receiving many inquiries from people wishing to obtain Mr. Kaidehara's personal information. Some of them were offering us millions of mora just to gather the information they want. If these...
Millions? Of mora? Whoa!
Please, accept my thanks for looking out for my privacy.
Of course. No matter what, we only take on legitimate cases. We don't make our money by revealing details of other people's day-to-day life. Sorry, I got a little off topic. What I'm really trying to say is, but I wouldn't know where to begin if we want to connect this with an assault.
Then let's put that connection aside for now. Have there been any other the Tenryo Commission?
It's true that if anyone had been out there at...
Uh-oh. Looks like the trail's already run cold.
I still find it difficult to believe that whoever attacked you hasn't been causing any trouble elsewhere. Few people possess your prowess in battle. So unless you were the first person he targeted, I am well aware of your talents. There is no need to be humble around me. In fact, I'm quite relieved. It would cause me great grief to see someone become critically injured or lose their life for the poor victim. This would be a completely senseless crime.
Don't worry, we'll find him.
It seems you are every bit the selfless hero they make you out to be, Mr. Kaidehara. Surely this same concern for your fellow man...
You flatter me. Truth be told, I don't know quite what came over me in that moment.
You are much too humble. Don't worry, I completely understand your concerns. I will try my best to gather whatever leads... Oh, actually, there was one strange... Let me tell you about it just in case.
Sure. During times like this, the more...
All right then. Recently, two people went missing from the city at around the same time. One of them is a pretty well-known collector, surnamed Nagato. The other, Amenoma Yuya, is a samurai from the Amenoma clan.
Amenoma! Now there's a familiar name!
Right. Yuya is the nephew of Amenoma Togo, the owner of Amenoma Smithy. Two grown men going missing at the same time. Their cases are likely connected, but I don't know much. I recalled this because Amenoma Yuya is also an accomplished martial artist who is skilled with the blade. Perhaps he is the one you are...
Understood, though it seems highly unlikely to me. I neither know this man...
Sure! Can't hurt! We never know what we might find out along the way.
Thank you, Ryuji. We'll start by making some inquiries at the...
Sounds good. All the best with your investigation. I'll get moving.
Ah, if it isn't Kaedehara Kazuha. What brings you here today?
Huh? You two know each other?
Yes. The Kaedehara and Amenoma clans were both members of the Raiden Gokaden. Historically, there have always been deep links between the two. After I returned to Inazuma... let me quickly explain. The techniques of blade making were personally bequeathed to the Raiden Gokaden by the almighty Shogun, and over time, further honed and enhanced by the most talented craftsmen. Unfortunately, a series of events led to the gradual decline of many clans in the bladesmithing trade. Today, only the Amenoma clan has kept its art alive.
So sad.
It is a great pity indeed. In the old days, we each had our specialties, and just as iron sharpens iron, so too did we learn much from each other. As an example, the Amenoma art strives to emulate the abiding patience and determination of water. As it turns stone, there is nothing mystical to our work. There is only practice, day in and day out, until both body and mind have memorized the craft, turning each motion of every As for the art of the Kaedehara clan, I believe it's called the Ishin art.
That's right. Ishin art strives for complete harmony between blade and mind from the moment that forging begins. For only a blade thus forged can capture and convey its maker's thoughts and feelings, and eventually become an extension of its wielder's will.
Indeed. Most samurai choose their blades, but an Ishin blade chooses its owner. You are, without a doubt, the most worthy wielder of an Ishin blade. It gladdens my heart to see that although the Kaedehara clan has fallen on hard times, its ideals...
You overestimate me. My actions are guided by my own personal sentiments, not by any noble aspirant. But let's get back on topic. The purpose of our visit today is to gather some information on your missing nephew. We hope to assist with the investigation. It may turn out that this case is connected to another we are pursuing.
Ah, yes. My nephew. I reported the case to the Tenryou Commission, but he didn't say a word before he left, which is very unlike him. I'm still completely at a loss on what to make of it, but I've done what I can so far. Worrying is futile. All I can do now is wait for the news from the Tenryou Commission.
We heard that there was a collector involved in the disappearance too. Know anything about that?
Yes. On the morning that Yuya went missing, he gave me a very cryptic look and said that he was going to give me a great gift. I believe he went to collect the item from Mr. Nagato after that. The next thing I heard was that a fire had broken. Yes. Strange, isn't it? I wonder what could have caused it. Unfortunately, there was very little evidence left behind, so nobody...
Do you have any thoughts on what Yuya may have wanted to give you?
If I had to guess, it must have been some kind of rare weapon. Otherwise, there would have been no reason for him to get my hopes up. He's never been particularly interested in blade forging, but has always had a fondness for blade testing, and can sense even the most minute differences in blade quality. He is extraordinarily talented in martial arts, particularly when it comes to the art of the...
Truth be told, we have some information that you may find to be objectionable. The person we are looking for, he attacked this friend of... Based on the evidence we have gathered so far, only Yuya seems to match the suspect's profile.
What? No. Absolutely impossible. Yuya is not... He is humble and kind. Even his training is done with the goal of calming his mind.
Huh. Is that so?
Yes. If there's one thing I can say for certain, it's that Yuya would never draw his blade without a very good reason. But, with that said, it's equally out of character for him to just... I also cannot know what course of action he might be capable of if coerced, or otherwise compelled by circumstances unbeknownst to... Anyway, should you find him, please let me know as soon as possible.
Don't worry. You have our word.
From the sound of that, Paimon doesn't think Yuya was the one who attacked us at...
Yes. It sounds as if something happened when the two men met each other. Let's pay a visit to the Nagato household.
Take it easy. Take it easy.
I'm very sorry, but we cannot afford to pay what we owe right now. My husband has gone missing, and I'm still trying to find him.
No, you misunderstand us. We are here to help with the investigation. We'd like to ask you some questions about Mr. Nagato's disappearance, if we may.
Ah, I see. I thought the debt collectors had come to visit again. I'm sorry you have to see me in this dreadful state. Has some new information come out? Do you know where he's gone?
I'm afraid we don't have any new information at the moment. We're still trying to find out as much as we can to inform our search. With this in mind, can we perhaps ask some questions about your family's current situation?
For example, Paimon's struggling to understand why a collector would...
That's a long story. Ever since I've known him, he's been an avid collector of all sorts of things. He'd always get so animated when he was showing them to me. I knew nothing about the items myself, but seeing how enthusiastic and excited they made him, I was happy to believe that they were just extremely important to him. Everything was fine when we first got married, but as time went by, things changed for the worse.
Uh-oh! What happened?
He lost his sense of restraint. He started buying more and more things, and even resorted to borrowing money just so he could pay for them. Our expenses really spiraled out of control when he started getting interested in weapons. It was awful. There were days when he'd spend hours down at the warehouse, admiring his weapons even as debt collectors were descending upon our house. He wouldn't sell them, wouldn't even touch them. Just sat there staring at them like he was in a trance. I'm happy he has a hobby, and I'm willing to support him. But making ends meet has to come first. I've tried talking to him about it so many times, but he never listens. On the last day that I saw him, I gave him an ultimatum. I said, if he refused to sell his collectibles and pay off his debts, I would divorce him and take the children with me.
Whoa!
And that led to an argument.
Actually, it didn't. Generally, he's a quiet man who likes to go with the flow. On most things, he leaves the decision-making to me. You must understand, I never would have dreamed of threatening him with divorce if the debts hadn't pushed our family to the brink. After I said those words, he froze and was silent for a long time. When he finally spoke, he awkwardly mumbled that he would pick out a few items to sell. His voice was so meek and pitiful that I felt an urge to take everything back. But then what? If I didn't draw the line, what would happen to our family? Had I not indulged his bad habits, we wouldn't have found ourselves in such a predicament. And I also don't know if he had actually come to his senses, or if he was simply angry with me. The next thing I heard was that our warehouse had caught fire, and both he and the buyer had gone missing.
I see. I understand. Ame no Mayuya came to purchase a weapon from Mr. Nagato. During the sale, a fire broke out at the warehouse, and both men disappeared.
At first, I assumed they must have gotten into an argument over the price. But my husband has never been one to negotiate. He never even haggles when he's out buying groceries, so it's hard to imagine him getting into a fierce argument.
Maybe he was feeling the pressure from the debts?
I don't know. He just disappeared after the warehouse burned down. Perhaps he's too afraid to come home now that all his collectibles have been lost in the fire, and he... Even though I'm still a little mad at him, we're a family. As long as he's willing to turn over a new leaf, I know we can work things out.
Please don't get upset. There could be more to this situation than meets the eye. If collecting things is a habit that Mr. Nagato had his whole life, it is quite unusual for this habit to change so drastically over a short period. But the information we gathered from the other side suggests Ame no Mayuya is also a mild-mannered man who would not be likely to start an argument. This situation is getting a little confusing.
A little confusing? More like completely mystifying.
Let's try a change of scenery and see if we can piece together what we've learned. Rest assured, we'll notify you if we find anything.
Thank you so much. I just want him to come home.
Based on the information we've gathered so far, I can only surmise that the salesman and the fire at the warehouse likely played a part in how the situation unfolded, though its exact role is a mystery. Do you have any thoughts?
Well, Paima was thinking that maybe someone accidentally knocked over an oil lamp and, nope, never mind. Paimon's brain needs to rest for a while. Over to you.
That is the most likely conclusion based on everything we know. What started as a disagreement over the price escalated and ultimately turned into a tragedy. However, in this case, only one of the parties would have started the fire. That would make the other party innocent, and they would have no reason to hide themselves from the public. If this is indeed what happened, and the innocent man hasn't come forward yet, then it suggests they may have already lost their life. One fact that I keep coming back to is that Ame no Mayuya is polite and well-mannered, while Mr. Nagato is introverted and passive. Neither seems like the type of person who is inclined towards initiating conflict. Mr. Nagato, being heavily in debt, is also the only one of them with the potential motive to disappear after the fire. The more I ponder it, the more puzzling it becomes. Right. Although the time frame seems to broadly match, no other details that we've learned seem to link the two events together. Ame no Mayuya lacks a key distinguishing feature of the attacker, namely that he is principally a practitioner.
Darn! We thought we could get two birds with one stone here, but at this rate, it's starting to look like a wild goose chase.
Let's keep going, since we've come this far. If we can solve the case, both Mr. Amenoma and Mrs. Nagato will be able to get some closure.
Okay, but where should we go now?
Let's head out of the city and check out the warehouse. There's still a chance we may be able to find some shreds of evidence.
Tea house only accepts guests of surprise.
Wait. I hear something ominous in the wind.
Oh! This must be another one of those sounds that only you can hear. As sketchy as that whole thing seems, you did put it to good use when we were chasing down that vision thief at Beto's.
Now I'm picking up a strong scent in addition to the sound. It's right around here somewhere.
But there's nothing here.
It's gone now, but I can still sense the direction it left in. It felt very much like that ancient presence in Inazuma. Indeed. But this unexpected spring of inauspicious energy, we should remain vigilant and approach slowly.
Huh! So it's an
The force is definitely coming from down below. The source of the Tatarigami energy has long since left this place, but the residue it left behind still hasn't dissipated. Judging from the concentration, I would have to conclude that the Tatarigami source resided here for a very long time.
Mrs. Nagato said her husband used to hang around the warehouse by himself a lot.
It could well be that he was already under the influence of Tatarigami energy at that time. From what I've been told, Tatarigami does not turn all upon whom it preys into violent monsters, but most will develop a stubborn streak upon being exposed to the Tatarigami's unfulfilled. Mr. Nagato had an interest in collecting to begin with. The influence of Tatarigami could explain why he became an obsessive hoarder, amassing more.
So what should we do now? Go down and take a look?
Step back. I'll open the door and take a look inside. If we don't open this door, we can move no... You needn't worry. Both of us have faced far greater dangers than...
What's down there?
Everything's buried in debris. I can't see any... It looks like the fire caused a cave-in, reducing the...
That was too scary! Paimon was so sure that the warehouse...
All we can do now is keep searching in the direction that the Tatarigami energy's source... Two ordinary humans, entangled with the Tatarigami. Yes, let's go. If nothing else, it's vital that we find out where this Tatarigami energy is coming from. Quiet your mind and focus on what you sense around you. Perhaps you, too, will perceive its ominous presence. From this point, the trail appears to split into two. The main source of the Tatarigami energy continued on into the distance. Quite...
Whoa! Look at all those hilly churls! They're acting really strangely.
Something seems to be drawing their attention. Let's take a closer look.
quietly now. Busted.
Look at this.
By the looks of it, a letter written on a piece of torn clothing. The ink is bone dry. Well, let's take... According to this letter, a conflict arose because Amenoma Yuya started the fire that destroyed the warehouse and wounded Mr. Nagato in the fight.
So...
He was not only mortally wounded, but also under the heavy influence of Tatarigami. Add to that the fact that its aura seems to have attracted whatever traces there may have been of his fate beyond after this point. They've since been Yes. Right now, we need to uncover some... If Amenoma Yuya is attacking other people indiscriminately, then the longer we take...
Right! So let's get moving!
I wouldn't be surprised if he, too, fell prey to the influence of the... For a practitioner of the martial arts, the easiest desire to inflame would be their... All the clues that it... I have a hypothesis...
Wait! You...
I believe so. On with the search. He seems to have stayed here for a long time.
Why here? Is there anything special about this place?
I'm not sure. But on closer examination, I sense that the aura may have lingered. Show yourself! It's no use...
Kaedehara Kazuha. It's you, at last.
Aha! So it is the same guy from before. What's your problem, huh? What could you possibly have against Kazuha?
Indeed, there should be no enmity between us. If it is Amenoma Yuya that stands before us. But what if instead of facing Amenoma Yuya, we are in fact facing the blade in his hand?
Now that you mention it, it is giving off a strange Whoa, whoa! Surely you don't mean...
Tatarigami energy often lodges itself within physical objects, then works to subtly affect any... The blade has resided in Mr. Nagato's warehouse for many years, affecting his state of mind. Or rather, as a means to occupy Amenoma Yuya's body.
You're sharper than I thought. You've already deduced the truth of the matter. Many, many years ago, I was forged by a famed bladesmith of the Ishin tradition. I was his pride and joy as a descendant of the Kaedehara clan. You should be able to guess our...
I presume it has something to do with the Raiden Gokaden.
Indeed. At that point in time, he failed to live up to the Raiden Shogun's expectations. In the end, all he could do, he was a bladesmith of great renown, a master of his craft. There was nothing that he could not accomplish. All he needed was... And sure enough, in the end, he achieved what he had set out to do. All of his life's... He not only bestowed upon me the greatest of strength, but also endowed me with a... In her conceit, the Raiden Shogun lost not only the single most perfect blade in the entire world, but also...
So... swords can become conscious?
The people of the time in which I was born never believed I had that kind of power. They saw me as a mere blade, a sharp and well-crafted one. After the death of my creator, I decided to leave Snezhnaya and began my long quest to return to the distant land of Inazuma. Moving from one person to the next, I seek but one thing: to face the full force of the Raiden Shogun's blade and prove my power.
Ah, so Amenoma Yuya was not your first victim. Tell me, what happens to those you've possessed when you've finished using them?
My hosts? Who cares what happens to them? They are but tools that serve my... When they got tired, or injured, or unusable, I hopped to the next one in line. All I needed them for was to take me back to Inazuma.
You're awful!
After I returned to Inazuma, I decided to bide my time in Nagato's warehouse until Amenoma Yuya handed himself over to me on a silver platter. At long last, I'm approaching my journey's destination. By Amenoma Yuya's body, I have found you, and by your hand, I shall defeat Kaedehara Kazuha. You stood against the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. There can be no other. Now, give...
Here comes the catch. Quietly now. Gutsy. Gotcha.
Do not stand in my way, or I will strike...
Your bluff's fooling no one. You've lost.
Lost? I can never lose. It is this body that has reached its limit, nothing more. Even if you defeat me here, the one who falls will not be me, but this... He is but a puppet that can be replaced. I can take a new vessel at will. The end result is the same! I will end this wretch's life before you can lift a finger. And even if I were to lose my physical form, it is but a small... By any means necessary, and any medium available,
Your fighting style. It is indeed the forms of Ishin art. But from your movements, I sense only hatred and arrogance, as well as a thinly veiled mania and despair.
Really? You can tell all that just from his moves?
As I've mentioned before, the forms of Ishin art convey the user's thoughts and feelings. Since the blade is currently possessing Amenoma Yuya's body, its movements express the innermost thought. If you ask me, the mania is probably due to your desperate, single-minded ambition.
Are you trying to claim that I am helpless without you? On his deathbed, he passed to me all of Ishin art's secrets. The little that you know barely scratches the surface. In that regard, why would I ever need your help?
Because all of that is in the past. I've been wondering why you've not caused more trouble in all the years that you've been in Inazuma. If you are indeed a cursed blade that can possess its owner. Now that I've seen inside your mind, everything finally makes sense. You weren't biding your time. After all the time that's passed, you have grown weak. To the point that you are now unable to...
Oh, that's right. Paimon remembers now. Mr. Nagato had a...
Only when Mr. Nagato witnessed his wife's distress and decided to sell his collectible... Well, that brings me to my second point. There's a despair in you that is so strong it threatens to overwhelm you. You were determined to fulfill your maker's ambition, whatever the cost. But this ambition is too... I think you realized your limitations long ago. The more you clenched your teeth and pressed forward, but the way I see it, what began as an ambition has long...
What would you know about any of this? I'm just one step away from achieving my goal!
You returned to Inazuma to prove the unparalleled brilliance of Ishin art. But to make this arduous journey, you committed countless atrocities, and showed... Even if you were to sever that divine light. Sure, you inherited the secret. How could you possibly unleash the full potential of Ishin art when you act in perfect...
Silence, you blabbering fool! I must achieve my goal. This was his life's dream, and the very... I will concede that you are most perceptive. You see my predicament clearly. But you also underestimate my resolve.
And you should face reality.
Easy for you to say. Facing reality offers me nothing. I have no need of anything that would stand in my way. Not hesitation, not self-reflection, and It is pointless to argue further, descendant of the Kaedahara.
How stubbornly you stick to your wayward path. I do not believe for a second that you can challenge the almighty Shogun in your current state. So let us make a bet, and I will put your strength to the...
What? Surely you're not planning to agree to his demands.
Very well. Then find yourself some enemies with whom you wish to cross blades. A taste of my power will more than convince you. Once we have dealt with them, we shall proceed to Tenshu.
And as for your end of the bargain, if you lose, you must release Amenoma Yuya from your control.
I accept.
Don't do this, Kazuha!
This is the only way to save Amenoma Yuya. If we don't, he'll forever be the Blade's puppet. The Cursed Blade's strength is currently very weak, and I sense he's hesitating. This suggests his heart is still not completely devoid of honor. The power of the Tatarigami lies in intensifying existing obsessions. This is the reason Mr. Nagato and Amenoma Yuya fell prey.
But even so...
Even if things take a turn for the worse, I still have you both here with me. We have a chance here to save an innocent victim. I am willing to accept the risks entailed.
Your disdain for me betrays your woeful ignorance. I agreed to this bet because there are things I wish to learn too. Now, take me in your hand.
Kazuha?
I'm okay. I felt a little dizzy at first, but only for a moment. It's all right. So far, this was as I expected. I will. Thank you.
What should we do next? Have you got a plan, Kazuha?
We find some enemies. Although this blade has endured much turmoil, it probably hasn't experienced many real... If a blade built for Ishin art cannot enter a state of harmony between blade and bearer, it cannot if he wants to avoid reality, then we need to fight until he has no choice but to face it. He shouldn't last long in an...
Wait a minute! Paimon remembers hearing about something from the... Since the Takatsukasa clan abandoned that secret base...
All right.
What about Amenoma Yuya?
The blade says he'll let Amenoma Yuya trail us silently. Although he hasn't regained...
Are we sure this is a good idea? It's a... Okay, fine.
Yeah. All right, let's head off. Leave everything on this journey to me. How's this? Clouds high. The birds come. Looks my lucky day. To the ferry.
How are you feeling?
I'm all right. The blade is performing largely as I expected. Having gone so long without proper use and maintenance, though he's making every effort to persevere, I do not think he can last much longer.
Something else on your mind?
How strange. Rather than trying to control me, let's keep going.
Let's get down to business. How's this? Say no more. There's more.
One with wind and cloud.
Finally,
Whoa! Something's up with the blade!
I can sense that his strength is slowly fading away. The blade is becoming more and more difficult for me to wield. He cannot hold out much longer. If he keeps persisting, he will...
But what would that do to Amanumi?
I will be careful with it. He also says he does not have any... He's still trying to achieve his goal. Time to go. Time to go.
I'm ready!
That hurt! Wind strike!
Cheap tricks!
Wind strike! Fallen leaves, adorn my night!
Are you okay? It looked like you were really struck.
Yes. And it looks like he's reached his limit.
The sheen's grown a bit dimmer again. It doesn't look...
Perhaps this time, we'll finally have a chance to see his true form.
True form? What are you talking about? Is this the same blade as before? It looks like a piece...
If you choose to continue in the state you're in, you wouldn't even be able to beat Samurai and Kairagi, much less the all... Maybe you did truly wield power to rival the Shogun's light when first forged. But the long journey from Snezhnaya back to Inazuma has left you battered and broken. It barely needs stating anymore. Your ambition is a flight of fancy. I've finally figured out why it was that you agreed to my bet. You wanted to reach a state of harmony with me. For perhaps then you would still be able to... But regrettably, we are nothing alike. I will never understand your obstinacy and cruelty, nor can I empathize with the only one who truly understood you, had already passed away by the time you were born.
Huh? What's that supposed to mean?
There they are! Take them down!
Where do they keep coming from? Yup, we can help this time.
Don't worry. I'll use my own. It's just more of the same.
It's my lucky day!
One with nature!
How's this?
Clouds high, the birds call into the wind.
You fought way better with your own sword.
You are a true Kaedehara in flesh and in spirit. Though we fought briefly together, no one knew anything of my story throughout my travels, nor did I tell it to anyone. I thought that if I could achieve Ishin harmony with you, perhaps there would still...
But in this too, you have failed.
Indeed. No matter how hard I tried, I could not attain that perfect harmony that your... Too much time has passed. My physical state is poor, and without proper maintenance, I can only disguise my true appearance behind... Yours is the blade that took on the Muso no Hitotachi. And what a magnificent blade it is.
Actually, this is just a generic blade that I picked up during my travels in
What?
Forging and maintenance are both important for a blade, but they are not This blade has traveled the land with me for many years, and we have formed a close bond during that time. Plus, in the moment, skill, blade, determination, and desire. All these must be aligned in the practice of Ishin art. There is something else I must tell you. Though your maker may not have been aware, your ability to possess your own consciousness derived from the power of the Tatarigami as a malevolence from the ancient past. It is the source of your mania and savagery. Though you tried to cooperate with me while I was wielding you, the part of you driven by Tatarigami was constantly trying to seize control of my body.
I sensed it, but I couldn't change it. It is an integral part of my consciousness.
I resisted its temptations because I wanted to save Amenoma Yuya. But I do not know whether you yourself... I feel a great sense of regret for you. Since you embarked on a journey bound for a destination, you were destined... The moment you embarked on this journey, you lost the only person who could have ever unleashed your true potential. You have known this for a long time. It is the true source of your despair.
He gave me everything. My life, my form, my How could I possibly deny him his wish? I said to him, "Do not worry. From here on, I shall forge your..."
Aww.
I believe our bet is now settled. I have nothing...
Where are you going, Kazuha?
He now has neither the ability nor the motivation to cause further harm. When I touched the hilt for the first time, it's as if I was transported to a bladesmith lay quietly on the bed. A newly forged blade lay by his side, listening.
Wow.
Indeed. While in exile in Snezhnaya, the bladesmith eventually he spent the rest of his life in the forge. Not to vent his frustration and hatred, he felt intense regret at being tricked by the Fatui, but he could never again, so he instructed all he wanted to.
So, but after...
Right. This blade... Yes, time would not... He seems to have...
When I look back at I can remember the day of my I once told him that I would pay any price to fulfill his wishes. Such was the debt I owed to him. But darkness and slaughter numbed the mind. Not only did I fail to fulfill his ambition.
You are finally seeing reality clearly.
Since we agreed to the terms of the bet, I will honor the agreement, but I still cannot bring myself to forsake. So...
Hey! Now you're adding your...
It has to be done in this order, at least my physical form as...
His attitude... What do you think, Kazuha? Should we get...
Let's hear it.
Thank you all. When I was first... Alas, after that, nor have I... My fights were devoid of any... You are a fine warrior.
Oh?
I will release Ameno. You must have plenty of reasons to both hate me.
Understood. Then let's start by...
I see. He used my... I utterly despise him and his actions. If a duel can help, I do not wish to...
There's no need...
Thanks for your help.
All right, then let's move on. More Ronin could... In any case...
This reminds Paimon a bit of the Crux Club. Yep, we still can't let our guard down, even now. Still. Are you ready?
Ready? Okay. Successor of Ishin art. Kaedahara Kazuha.
Successor of Amenoma art.
Honored to cross blades with you.
It is my honor also.
It's fine. Wind Strider. As one with wind and cloud. The wind knows me. Wind strike! Wind strike! Clouds high, the birds come! Into the wind! That hurts! Wind strike!
Thank you for the experience. Although he appeared, his sense of...
You also fought well. There are a few
I must apologize.
You need not seek. It is too late.
I do not wish for forgiveness. I strayed. I beseech you.
Yes.
Thank you.
This blade has also told me that he... Maybe we can go back there to...
What does he want?
I'm not sure.
It's you!
I am sorry to have troubled you. It's all thanks to them that I was able to return.
A prized Ishin blade. Turned weapon that controls... Considering their forging philosophy, this was indeed within the... But I have some good news as well. Ryuji, from the Bonton Sango Detective Agency...
Really? Is he...
Yes. Badly wounded, but he... And now that Yuya is back, it seems like the fight...
I think I know what you want to do.
What's wrong, Kazuha? Is the blade whispering in your ear again?
Yes. He said he wants to take control of me.
What? No way! Hasn't it learned its...
He tells me that he's thought of another way to fulfill his maker's wish. And he assures me that he won't use my body. I have decided...
But... He... Oh.
Thank you. I will explain my reasons. Okay. I am ready. Let us begin. Please.
My power is almost spent. Without him, my eventual demise is inevitable. But if I abandon the future to give everything I have in this moment, my physical form can be forged anew.
Everything? You mean...
Yes. The cost is my entire consciousness. You were right. There's nothing that I can accomplish now. But there's still a chance for Ishin art. Once remade, I will be a valuable resource for your studies. Ishin lives on, and its finest hour is yet to come. Even if I am not the one to prove its might to the Shogun, as long as it is an Ishin blade, crafted by Kaedehara hands, it will still fulfill his final wish. Thank you, son of the Kaedehara clan. Over the years, my real name has been forgotten by all. I'm ashamed to utter it, yet it remains strong in my mind. Kagotsurube Ishin. This name is now yours to keep.
Rest in peace.
So, that's why he said it had to be done in that order. His consciousness will disappear forever.
Kagotsurube Ishin. It seems like deep down he disapproved of his own actions. Only in the final moments, before his consciousness faded, was he willing to...
Seems like he really, really wanted to...
The same fervent ambition that gave him the motivation to keep speaking for myself. I understand. Hearing his wish, your quest to face the gods and trace your... After everything I've seen, I will continue to support you.
Wait!
Oh, and it's also...
Take it easy.
You've the Tenryou Commission is already...
Wow, you...
Then we needn't recount all the details again. Now, as to your earlier offer, I wish to give you my answer. Please.
What's this?
Kagotsurube Ishin. A weapon crafted using a long-lost... By means of a series of fortuitous events, I was able to recover and restore him. I also promised him that... And so, it looks like I will likely continue with my journey across the nations. Learning more about this...
I see.
The Kaidahara clan has always been a family of bladesmiths, so it is only proper for... Were I to accept your goodwill, I may find myself embroiled in conflicts between the shogunate and Sangonomiya.
You misunderstand. That was most certainly not...
I am aware, but I still desire...
Very well. I can understand. Then let's pretend this offer was... However, if you should ever change your mind or find yourself in need of the shogunate's...
Great. Thank you.
Where will you travel to next, Kazuha?
I'll probably take to the seas with Captain Beto again for now. As for my next destination, let's see where the wind takes me.